Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya al-mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, as we are discussing on how to create a giving civilization in the 21st century, how we're going to shift from why we are in this situation. Alright, because the nature of the giving society now is overwhelmed by this greedy society that is developed in the 21st century, where we have a very unequal world, where the poor die of hunger, die of oppression, die of genocide, die of ethnic cleansing, just like our brothers and sisters in Rohingya and many other places in the world, in Africa, in Palestine, and many other places. So how are we going to change that? It is very important, because in Islam we have this idea of creating a just and a giving civilization, which is within the framework of Al-Maqasid Al-Sharia. So why and how and what to do is always, we have the answer in Islam. It is not something that is not discussed in Islam. It has been discussed in Islam for more than 800 to 1,000 years ago. Our great scholars have already understood this idea of civilization, brought about by Ibn Khaldun in his idea of how civilization rises and how civilization disappears, and how we Muslims can develop within the framework of Al-Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah, adapt this deen to face the challenges throughout all levels of civilization, whether in the past, present, or the future. So we have within Islam that if now the greedy society is taking and bringing us towards self-destruction, towards environmental disaster, towards societal meaninglessness, towards atheism, towards oppression, towards crude capitalism, towards addiction, towards so many things. We have to shift this down. So to bring it, we got to give a chance to a just and giving society. So to shift towards a giving and just civilization, we have to apply the principles of Maqasid Al-Sharia within Islam, which is very beautiful. And inshallah, if you understand this, you understand that this deen is a wonderful, beautiful, perfect deen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has endowed upon us. And we Muslims can lead at any time in the world. That means whether we are in the past or the present or the future, we Muslims, if we apply the full understanding of the depth and the scholarship and the beauty of Islam, we can understand that there is a way out of the current dilemma, and there's always hope. Hope which Allah has given us, a pathway towards peace, happiness and success, a pathway to being an achiever in this life, and a pathway towards us leading the world in the 21st century. So how are we going to, we want to answer the why, how and what. If we look at the world consciousness today, alright, the world consciousness today, the world consciousness is sum total of individual consciousness. This is from our Post-Islamic Psychology book. Alright, on our Post-Islamic Psychology model, you go to the chapter on Post-Islamic Psychology model, and we have a summary of how the environment, the three sources of environment, the physical environment, social environment, inner speech, develop perception, and how the perception affects our how the perception affects our total human past learning history. Alright, how our being, the self, the nafs is being affected. So if we have all this a lot of badness in the 21st century, a lot of evil in the 21st century, a lot of imbalance in the 21st century, a lot of addiction, a lot of hedonistic lifestyle, a lot of meaningless, all these things that is creating a major problem within the 21st century, and there's very little input in terms of the good. So all these are B means bad, G means good. So we have 80% bad, 20% good. So if we have receiving the message in our perception, in our feelings, emotion and thoughts, FET, more than 50,000 that is impinging on us every day in our life, and if 80% is negative, then like it or not, we will face with a bad, evil and unjust global society. So this society that is now rambling along towards its own destiny of self-destruction is the result of the individual. Every individual is impinging with a model of their feelings, emotion and thoughts that is negative, a little bit of positive. All right, evil, with a little bit of good. So that has to change. If every one of us is in this mode of feeling, emotion, and thinking, then the outcome of what is going to happen to the world will be a bad, evil, unjust global society. That will be the natural outcome in which we are now seeing right in front of our very eyes. That this 21st century civilization is not sustainable. I'm not saying it because I'm saying it because I'm a Muslim. All intellectuals, all those who have studied the philosophical framework of this society, all those who are in the fields of psychology, all those in the field of sociology are beginning to understand that the burden on this planet Earth and the burden of this dysfunctional society that is now living in anxiety, living in depression, living in a lot of unsettled mental states cannot carry on forever. So because of that, we have to find a way in which, inshallah, we Muslims can then change the consciousness of the world. How? We as individuals, we as Muslims, there's 1.7 billion Muslims in the world, individually impinge upon to develop a positive mindset, positive emotion, positive feelings, FET within ourselves, that we can then influence the others. If there is enough, there will be enough people. If we Muslims take this lead, there are many, many people who are already waiting for an answer to their existential problem, the dilemma of their very existence, the dilemma of the meaning and purpose in life. They are seeking and trying, and they have no answer. So we have the answer. It is our duty to spread this beautiful message of Islam to as many people as possible. So what we must understand is that don't think that you are just an individual, you have no power. You have power. You as an individual, even though you cannot see how you impinge on the consciousness of the world, of the universe, you must understand this is the fitrah, this is the pathway that Allah has ordained upon, that as individual, if we strive to make ourselves good, to help others to be good and make the world good, inshallah, we would be able to make and help this world heal itself. We have to heal the world. We have to heal the society. We have to heal our way of life so that it is holistic, balanced, filled with iman, goodness, happiness, fulfillment, achievement, success, all the beautiful things that we want for ourselves, for our children, for our family. How can that be if we do not strive to change ourselves first? Because for things to change, we have to change ourselves first. And then when we change ourselves, we will impinge on our immediate surrounding and then impinge upon, together, collectively, as an ummah, we can change the world to make it a better world for all, inshallah.